Hello everyone and welcome back to Console Peasant Cancer. This is going to be the first video response that I'll be doing to a console peasant, and it's going to be very interesting because I used to be on the receiving end of these types of videos. Now I'm actually making one towards somebody else. But the video in question was made by somebody called Pixel Hipster, and the title of the video is Why I Prefer Console Over PC. So this should be interesting. Let's see what Pixel Hipster has to say, why he believes that console gaming is superior to the PC.
I think consoles are better than PCs.
And I think that the Cleveland Browns are the best football team ever. I think pineapple is the best pizza topping, and I think jerking off with sandpaper is the absolute best feeling in the world. No, just because it's an opinion doesn't mean that it can't be wrong. There is such thing as a bad opinion, and you seem to have one.
Let me just preface this by saying I'm fully aware of the better benefits that PC gaming has to offer. But with that said, here is my personal, you can't see me doing it, but I'm doing the quotes, my personal preference and reasoning why I think consoles are better than PCs.
And this seems to be a big problem that console fanboys seem to have when making their argument that, you lay out this entire argument as to why consoles are better than PC, but then someone can prove that you are just objectively wrong, but then they say, well, it's my personal preference. It's my personal preference. That means you can just take it or leave it. It's just what I believe. But the thing is, when you conflate the words better and preference, those two words have completely different definitions. Let's take a look at the word better, the official definition of that word. Of a more excellent or effective type or quality. Can you honestly say that the PS4 or Xbox One is of better quality than the PC? You can't. Objectively, you will easily be proven wrong. And to just say, well, it's my personal preference. Well, what's the definition of the word preference? A greater liking for one alternative over another or others. You see the problem here is that you're conflating, you're grouping two words together that have completely different meanings to one another, and you're trying to shield your shitty opinion behind, well, it's my personal preference. Well, that doesn't really work in this case because you can easily recognize that something is of better quality, right? A Bugatti is obviously a better car than a Dodge Charger, but you can prefer to drive a Dodge Charger without saying that a Dodge Charger is a better car. You know what I'm trying to say here?
PCs, without a doubt, can run games with a better graphical fidelity and overall powerful and more versatile. I dabble in both, I really enjoy both, but consoles have a serious advantage over PCs right now, and it's in one word, it's convenient. PC gaming is a complicated process? Whatever, which requires a little tech know-how to get the most out of your experience. And if things go badly and you mess up or you just put in the wrong chip, your PC is going to explode.
We're talking about building a PC here, not fucking open heart surgery, dude. If I could do it, trust me, you definitely can, okay? I do not have any good, I am not good with my hands, I'm not good at building things and putting stuff together, but if I was somehow able to get into PC gaming, literally anybody can, okay? It's not me, like, selling myself short or anything, it's just me saying, this shit is so easy, all you need is a little patience, and you can build your own PC, no problem. And hey, if you don't want to build a PC, there's a thing called getting a pre-built machine. That's how I got into PC gaming for the first time, and it's a pretty viable option. If you don't feel comfortable building a PC, that is always an option, and I love how you just conveniently ignore that just to make a shitty argument.
Consoles, unlike PCs, have a small, simple install and setup to them. Aside from the little online optional account aspects, you can put in a disc and play whatever you got. When it comes to technology, I'm a bit of a dum-dum. I haven't upgraded my phone in almost 6 years. It's literally being held together by sticky tape. Not everyone, and especially me, has the skill and knowledge required for PC gaming, and I'm not trying to be mean or hurt anyone's feelings because I'm in with these people. I don't understand that. I don't understand the technology. I'm just saying consoles are simple and are the most logical and easy solution to use, which makes a better choice. You can just plug in your console, insert the game and get playing. Current consoles' accessibilities are still leagues ahead of PCs.
If you've been watching my channel for a while, I am sorry to sound like a broken record, but this is literally the one thing that console peasants keep repeating. This same talking point that is just so stupid. Plug and play. It's like, have you ever played a console in the past 10 years and you still think plug and play is a thing? You know, plug and play is like, okay, you literally plug in the console, you insert the disc, and you're good to go. But that is not a thing anymore. That time has long passed. We haven't really seen that since the era of the PlayStation 2, where you could just plug in the console, put in the disc, and you're ready to go. No, usually you have to install long updates, day one patches if the game just came out, 40 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes. We're far beyond the days of plug and play, okay? So why are people still talking about this? What about the PC to get your games going is so far more complex than getting games going on a console? Doesn't everybody at this point know how to run a Windows PC? You literally just do the exact same thing. You boot up the system, you click on the game, and you run it. And with PC and console, in both cases, yeah, you have to wait a little while for the game to install. But what is so much more difficult about PC than console in terms of getting your game going? Like, I've been playing console for most of my life. I've got into PC gaming for like about 2 years now, and I don't notice anything that's just so far more complex than on the console. I just don't know where this stupid talking point comes from, why people still believe this. It's like, it makes no sense.
When I was a kid, I was probably the most technologically illiterate person on this planet.
Dude, you're really like selling yourself short. It's not that difficult. It's not. You don't need this great technological know-how to be able to get into PC gaming. It's literally, like I've been saying throughout the video, it's not any more complicated than getting your games running on a console. Really, I promise you. And if you do somehow run into any problems, the PC community is the most welcoming to new people. Trust me, when I first got into PC gaming, I had so many people that offered help. I didn't really need it, but if you need it, it's there. The PC community is the most welcoming and the most open community that is more than happy to help out new people that's trying to get into PC gaming. Trust me, you know, they're not the elitist assholes that they're portrayed as online. They're actually pretty cool people, and I think, you know, if you give PC gaming a chance, I think you'd be really surprised at how, not only how great the experience is, but just how open and welcoming the community is. But you did say earlier in the video that you're both a PC and a console gamer, so I'm curious to know, maybe I'll find out later in the video, what problems you have encountered with PC gaming with your time playing on PC. Maybe we'll find out throughout the video.
Gotten better today, not a lot better, but still a little bit better. So installing consoles has always been a logical, better option for me. The average normie person does not want to worry about compatibility or what their system can run or their GMXM TXI processing chips or what have you. I buy the game with the matching color and I just slide that shit in and get on playing.
He keeps repeating the same shit over and over again about plug and play, and it's just beating a dead horse at this point, but he mentioned compatibility, and I wanted to make a point about that because it's like, this is such a complex process of like finding out if your GPU is compatible with a certain game, if you can run it. There's something called minimum requirements that is literally listed on every single game that you go out and buy. It just takes a quick Google search, a quick look at the game's page on the storefront, and it's pretty easy to find out if your GPU is actually compatible with a certain game. It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. It's called Google. Anybody knows how to use Google, right?
Speaking of those games I like sliding in, my PS4 and Switch offer a wide range of exclusive content. I love PS4 exclusives. Persona, Uncharted, Bloodborne, they are some of my favorite games of all time. Sure, PC has some exclusives and I can appreciate a good RTS from time to time. However, the caliber of PlayStation and Switch exclusivity always will outclass anything offered by something like Steam.
And that's exactly how the console manufacturers get you. They have these high quality exclusive games, and I can't deny that Sony and Nintendo have amazing first-party games that make you want to go out and buy that system, especially with Nintendo. And this is one thing that actually does come down to personal preference. Hey, if you love PlayStation games more than any game that would be offered on the PC, then go ahead and get a PlayStation, I guess. But me personally, I kind of actually like genre variety with my platform. I don't want to have to play the same exact genre, third-person action games with certain stealth elements. That's literally how every single PlayStation exclusive plays. Where are the first-person shooters? Where are the RPGs? Where are all these different games? But no, the majority of PlayStation exclusives are literally the same exact genre. And sure, they don't play exactly the same. You can't say Spider-Man plays exactly the same as, like, The Last of Us, for example. Obviously, that would be a stupid opinion to have. But, I mean, they're similar enough where I feel like the platform lacks a lot of variety. But, you know, yeah, sure, it comes down to personal preference. And you may prefer playing games with heavy motion blur and 30 frames per second, while I prefer to have variety in my games, and also I like having the option of playing my games at a smooth 60 frames or even higher than that. So yeah, I guess it all comes down to personal preference, but I think it's easy to see which experience is actually better than the other overall.
Furthermore, a lot of us just need time away from our PCs. I spend loads of times at my Mac and my PC as it is. Sometimes I just need to get away from it. I spend majority of my time writing, researching, and editing on my Mac. I know anyone else who works at a PC or studies via their laptop most of the day, they just want to have a change of scenery, sit back and relax. Sure, I do occasionally game on my Mac to take small time breakers like an FTL run on my MacBook, but all in all, I just sometimes want to switch off and play some games and be offline for a while. After spending 4 hours typing, reading, and editing, I just want to shut my Mac down, shut my brain off, and enjoy some good vibes.
Well, you seem to talk a lot about playing games on a Mac, so I think that's the first problem we have here, is that it seems that most of your PC gaming experience comes from playing on a Mac, and yeah, you playing video games on a Mac, calling that PC gaming, that's like calling yourself a console gamer, but the only thing you got is the Ouya. You know, like, it's not even like a taste of the actual gaming experience if you just play on a Mac. Like, a Mac has a really bad library of games, first of all. It's like the literally like one of the worst ways to play video games at all. It's terrible. Macintosh is a terrible OS to play video games. It's just not good. And the other problem seems to be that you play your games on a laptop mostly, and coming from experience, I hated PC gaming using an Alienware laptop. I can imagine a MacBook is even worse to play video games, but actually having a gaming laptop was terrible. And I would never go back to that experience, because that actually made me hate PC gaming so much, because I thought that was PC gaming. And I feel like you're kind of in the same situation as I was years ago, where I had a gaming laptop, or I had a laptop where I played video games, and I assumed that was the gaming experience. That was PC gaming. But especially you with Mac, if that's the way you mostly play your computer games, I can see the problem here. And then you talk about how much more comfortable console gaming is than PC gaming. This whole notion that sitting on a desk, you're on a computer so often, you just want to sit back, relax on your TV. What if I told you that you can do that with a PC? You can literally plug your PC into an HDMI cable with your television and a controller and put on Steam's big picture mode, and it's pretty much the same thing as the console, except you don't have to pay to play games online, and games don't run and look like shit.
While we're on the subject of good vibes, let's talk about aesthetics. My collection. I like collecting physical media. It's a hobby of mine. It's something I enjoy, and on PC it's pretty much impossible. There's no physical releases on PC anymore, just an occasional disc with an installer and a Steam code. If I wanted the Steam version, I would have just downloaded it there. And I have my DVD collection, and my CD collection, and my PS4 collection, and my Switch collection. I like how everything looks on my shelf. Old-fashioned as that may, I like physical media, and PCs don't allow that, because everything is always nailed to the hard drive. Also,
PC games are locked onto your hard drive, and that's not the case with physical media on consoles. Hate to break it to you, but when you install a game on the console, whether it's digital or if it's physical, you do not own that game. Not really. Okay, so you're talking about locking onto a hard drive. First of all, yeah, most games that you ever get on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, the full game is not encompassed within that disc. You have to install most of it onto your hard drive. So your disc doesn't really have all of the data that you actually need to make that game playable. That's the first thing. And yeah, sure, if you have the physical copy, it's still a lot faster than downloading it off your internet. So, there's that. I'm not going to be completely unfair towards the consoles and say that physical media has no benefit whatsoever. But it's interesting how you bring up physical media being completely useless on the PC. And, I do admit that it's definitely more useful on the console than on PC, because the console disc doesn't simply have just a download code. So you do have that the resale value of reselling games on a console. You do have that ability to share games, to trade games with your friends, which is something you don't really have on PC. I will admit that completely. But this very notion that, okay, so if you're into collecting, you just admitted that there is physical media. So if you're into the whole collecting thing, I mean, you could just if you like the aesthetic value of having cases on your shelf, you could do that on PC. Even though the disc itself is useless, you can still do that on PC. But make no mistake about it, whether it's physical media, digital media, or even the cloud, you do not own any of the games that you actually have. Really, you don't actually own any of them. You own a license to be able to use it, but you do not actually own the game. So this whole notion that console gaming is so much better when it comes to game preservation, it's really not. DRM exists across all platforms, just saying. So if you really care about ownership, if you really care about preservation, you should really get into emulation on the PC, because that's the best way to preserve video games, not physical media.
Consoles are traditionally found within a living room or a lounge, where you can recline with your controller and play your games in comfort. PCs are traditionally in the office, where you have to sit at a desk. Since gaming is a relaxing pastime, it is more suited to a console environment. Now, you can set up a PC and you could put it in your family lounge room area and then, I don't know, have a wireless keyboard and mouse, but you can't really use it productively. So
you forget that you can use a controller on PC. We kind of went over this already with the whole notion that console gaming is just more comfortable. You could play it on your couch. There is no such thing as couch gaming on the PC, and if it is, it's so uncomfortable because you still have to use a keyboard and mouse. Dude, you do know that you can use a controller on a PC. I mean, it's literally plug and play. So this makes me think that you really don't have that much experience with PC. Well, then again, you did say that you play most of your computer games on a MacBook, so I shouldn't be surprised that you lack that basic knowledge, but when you make a video like this, you should at least attempt to actually look into both sides of the argument. You seem to just focus too much on what you think is good about console gaming without even experiencing PC and saying, well, I prefer consoles over PC. I game on a MacBook and the console is so much better than the MacBook. Well, no shit. Mac is terrible. But the fact that you don't even know that you can put a controller into a PC and play games that way, and you can relax, and like I said, you don't necessarily need to have your PC on a desk. You can put your PC anywhere you want. Even if you don't want to, unplug all the wires, let's say your living room is so far away from the room where you have your computer, you can get one of those Android TVs and get the NVIDIA app that allows you to actually stream your PC to your TV, and you could do it that way with a controller. The point is, with PC gaming, you have so many options. You have so many different ways that you can tailor the gaming experience to your personal needs. With console gaming, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo already decides that for you. You have no say in what your gameplay experience is like. From the types of games you're allowed to play, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, they have to approve every single game on PC. Literally anybody can make a game on PC, and it's there. So you have so much freedom in the actual type of content that you can get in the actual gaming experience. You can literally play any way you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. And you can modify your experience with gameplay mods that you cannot get on the console, because Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo decide you should not be able to do that. So to negate all those things and just say, well, console gaming is better because I just like it. I like console. I like plug and play. I like all these things that don't even exist on the console. It's just how I feel, guys. But it's wrong. There's such thing as a wrong opinion. A wrong opinion is not necessarily you preferring something over another, but you conveniently ignoring all of the benefits of the other platform and, well, just saying, well, it's my personal opinion. it's a wrong opinion when you don't do proper research into things. Trust me, I know, because I used to I used to fall into that category years ago. But this video has a few seconds left, so let's see what else he has to say.
These are my reasons. Hopefully this was more coherent than some usual fanboy shit.
It really wasn't. I tried so hard to follow the arguments that you were making, but they literally made absolutely no sense, and you've demonstrated so much throughout the video that you lack even the most basic knowledge about PC gaming. But you say, well, I prefer console gaming over PC. Well, obviously you're going to prefer something to another thing that you have no experience with, obviously. But no, this video made absolutely no sense. The arguments made absolutely no sense, and yeah, this is just a bad video.
I don't know, it was just in my brain for the past couple of days and I just needed to write it and vent it all out.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. You just literally talked about whatever was running through your head. You didn't do any proper research. Okay, you admit that, so that makes a lot of sense. But no, you just, if you weren't willing to do the proper research into the topic, then why bother going out of your way and making a 5-minute video with some pretty decent editing? You got the music going in the background. You seem to put a lot more effort into the actual editing process of the video than the actual content within it, than the actual research and the proper things that you need to actually make a coherent argument. But you just decided, I'm not gonna bother with that. If someone challenges me, I'm just gonna say it's my opinion, it's my personal preference, so nobody can criticize me, because you can't say my personal preference is wrong. But how do you know it's your preference when you never even experienced the other thing? Like, really?
I just want to put it out there and make it clear as air that it's alright to be a PC gamer and prefer it vice versa. This is just an opinion and it's not definitive. I'm just a fanboy who just likes my ways because I like my ways. I'd just like there to be a day when console gamers like myself can admit, yes, PC is more free and open and has better performance and graphics, but at the end of the day, it's just a preference and that's alright. As usual, good vibes. Good vibes to all. Good vibes.
Now I know if I ever want to make a shitty opinion and put it out there on the internet and avoid criticism, I just need to keep saying, it's my personal preference. Personal preference. I just prefer this over the other. You can't say I'm wrong. I believe this thing is better because of my personal preference. You can't argue with my personal preference. But you can tell that minimal effort was put in to actually make a coherent and an honest argument for why console gaming is better. And the reason is really because you can't. You can't make an argument that console gaming is better. And that's not to say that console gamers are inferior and they're not real gamers, because you do have some PC elitists that are kind of like that, but that is a small minority of the PC community. But yeah, those people are out there, and they're fucking cancer too. Don't get me wrong. And I'm definitely not trying to make personal attacks against this guy. He said a lot of very ignorant and uninformed things throughout his video, but he seems like a chill guy from what I can see. So, nobody go after him or anything like that. Go after his ideas, but not him as a person, because there are so many people in the console community that are just awful human beings. But this guy is not one of them. Like I said, he seems like a really cool guy. He just didn't really bother putting any actual effort into the arguments that he made in this video. So his ideas are worth attacking, but not his actual character as a human being. Definitely not. He seems like a cool guy, just completely misinformed. And that's the reason why console gaming is so big, because you do have people like him that just refuse to give PC gaming a chance. They're just so intimidated by it, but they don't even try to understand it and try to give it a chance. And they're stuck with their ways on console because that's what they grew up on, that's what they're used to, and they don't want to change. But sometimes change is a really good thing, and considering a lot of the shit that console manufacturers have pulled over the years, I think it might just be time to move on from consoles altogether. I really think that would probably be the best thing for video games in general, if people just said enough is enough with what the console companies are doing. The paid online, the having no freedom at all, being locked to a specific gameplay experience and not having any say about it. They just do what they want and you just have to deal with it because you have the console, and there's no way for you to go against what the company wants because it's their platform and theirs only, while PC, no one company owns the platform. So I just have to say, Pixel Hipster, I think you really should give PC gaming a good chance, because I feel like you haven't really had enough experience with it to have that judgment that console gaming is so much better. Because I know if you really gave PC gaming a chance, there is no way that you would think console gaming was better. Trust me, because I've been on both sides of the debate, and I can say with full confidence that PC gaming is just leagues beyond anything that consoles can offer. Even as we enter a new generation of consoles, it still won't even come close. So I'd really recommend that you give PC gaming a chance. If you need any help along the way, I and so many others in the PC community will be more than happy to welcome you with open arms and help you with any questions you may have. And it may seem intimidating at first, but it really is an amazing experience. It's the best way to play video games, period. Trust me. Anyway, with all that said, I'm going to end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you later. Bye.